Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Scouser's pre-match between Liverpool and LASK here at American Scouser TV. It's me, John, the caretaker captain, once again with Timuchin being swamped by I don't know what. Like, he's probably going to join us, but yeah, here we are, Liverpool at Anfield, the decisive Europa League tie. With me, as always, is Sir Z, one of our biggest, most avid fans, and I appreciate having him over here. Sir Z, how are you doing?
Good, John. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good, good. Just hosting here at the last minute, so as good as I can be, trying to organize everything. I'm kind of like the
The
third, fourth
killer?
choice. Yeah, I'm kind of like Kelleher, just trying to sort things out, coming in at the last second with the first choice out through injury or something. So yeah, that's me right now. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, lineup is out. Let me put it here on the screen. So, Serzi, first thoughts on the lineup when it came out? Anything that stands out to you for this lineup?
Um, just surprised my prediction came true. But I would have Salah starting the game. I don't think I would have started with him. I would have bought him in the second half.
Mhm.
Other than that, no. I mean, I think given the run of games that we were coming up, it's probably the best team that we could probably field. Um, The only question mark is on Kelleher, like form wise, but we don't really have a choice. He's our default keeper right now. Um, Other than that, no, I'm just expecting Diaz to show some kind of form that he showed a couple of seasons ago, and Endo to like grab this game by the scruff of its neck, and yeah, excited for Gravenberch and Elliott to be playing together as well,
Oh yeah,
and Kwanzaa.
you're preaching to the choir. Alan says hi, guys, and hi. How are you, Alan? And thank you for tuning in as always. That note about Luis Diaz that you brought up actually is interesting. So, if we're being real here, Diaz hasn't been at his absolute best. Like if we think about Diaz, we think about the guy who came in that January that
Yeah,
season we came in challenging for the title, and the hype that came to him changing his number to number 7, being having a proper winger's number now, and being undoubtedly, I'm sure you did as well, had him as your first choice on that left wing to
oh
start the
yeah,
year.
sure.
Yeah, but so now he's kind of been a little bit off in terms of his form, his end production. It's been a bit spotty. So obviously, with Jota out for the next month or so, this is probably a good chance for Diaz to really cement his place, I guess, as the first choice winger on the left that we saw him, that we predicted that
Yeah,
he would be. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what it is. Yes, I think like the first season it came. If it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have got as many. Well, we were in it for like 4 competitions, and I think it was a Mane and Salah were out for AFCON,
Yeah.
and Diaz just gave us a new spark of life. Um, I think in our second season, obviously, he picked up the injury, but I feel like maybe Klopp and Linders have curtailed his game a little bit, where he but when he first came in, it was just like fearless. Like
Yeah.
he just played his own game, and and that's the player that we bought.
Hmm.
I think maybe we've subdued him a little bit to our detriment.
Yeah. Or maybe do
Um,
you think that it might be a case as well of opposition maybe figuring him out just a little bit? Like what kind of separates him, I think, from maybe what Mane was at his start. It's like defenses have managed to nail him down quicker than they have Mane. Like Mane was when Mane started slowing down, it was really physically, and that can't be Diaz right now, unless maybe it's like an injury thing. So hopefully,
right.
yeah, as the games go by, he continues to establish himself in that position. Considering we desperately need him to be the player that we need to be uh, over uh, over
Well,
this.
he had big shoes to fill. I mean, to
Yeah,
Mane was a phenomenon, and whoever replaces Salah is going to go through the same. Just like Henderson through Gerrard. Like you can't. Mane was just a freak.
right.
Um, that's that's unfair on Diaz. But again, with Diaz, he never had that connection with Robertson that Mane had for a start. Defensively, he's not as strong as what Mane was.
Yeah.
And he slows the game down a bit as well.
Yeah,
On
and
the left.
yeah, that's probably everyone's number one criticism of the guy. And you know what? It's hard to argue. But as I keep mentioning, this is his chance to continue to prove himself, to establish himself once again in the lineup. Again,
Yeah.
Jersey, I don't believe I've asked you. Is there any particular player that stands out here, or like a player that you have maybe a magnifying glass on for this particular fixture, like anyone in particular?
Excitement wise, Gavin Birch.
Right.
When we were first linked with him, I wasn't. Looks at this thing. He looks so weak and being Polish. So really surprised of how well he's done, and when he doesn't play, how we miss him, considering he's only been here a couple of months. Kwanzaa's another player I'm really happy to see and excited to see. Expect, I guess question marks over Endo. I really want to nail this position in this team as a number 6. And I guess Gakpo as well. He's kind of being like off form. So, with Jota being out and Nunes being on the bench, it'll be good to see him getting a goal sheet today.
Right, for sure. And it's actually great that you brought up Kwanzaa. Alan brings up Kwanzaa as well. Kwanzaa has been really a revelation this year. We kind of didn't really expect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't expect anyone else in terms of the center back pecking order. We always thought it was going to be Verge, Kanate, Matip, and maybe Gomez in that position. No one else. So him coming in, I guess. And let me actually bring in Timuchin here, who actually managed to sort out whatever it was that was troubling him. Timuchin, good to see you, my friend. How are you? I'm on your seat right now, and it feels great. Yeah, let me tell you.
A lot happening, man. Like a really hectic day. So I'm glad. Thank you for hopping on and hosting the festivities. No 49ers hats, I see. So no
What's Batman.
It's like a Timuchin presence over there. But no, I like the lineup, man. I'm sure you do because Gravenberg is on there.
Oh yeah,
That's
for sure.
You needed.
Yeah. I was about to ask you, man. Like first thing that you thought of when you saw the lineup, anything that maybe stood out for you or that you're looking forward to seeing.
I think similar to what Sir Z was saying, I'm actually shocked and I guess kind of pleased in some ways that it's a really strong lineup. I mean, I would have thought there would be a bit more youth scattered around to give, knowing the area, the schedule we're going to enter or we're about to enter in terms of games coming every 3 days and stuff. I figured we would take this chance to rest a guy like Mo, for example. I know somebody has to lead the gang out there, but that's, I think, the thing that shocks me the most. I love the midfield. We did think Jones would be there, but we were trying to make room for him because, Elliott is going to be there. But, I mean, Diaz, Mo, Gakpo up front, that was a little shocking to me because I think it's really strong. Good to see. Maybe we want to put the game away first, then bring the kids on. But that's always a risky ordeal because you might end up playing them longer than you would like to. Usually Klopp likes to kind of throw what we want out there, and if things don't pan out, that's when we bring the backups. Not backups, but the backup forces, if you will. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Definitely looking forward to it, though.
Right, and Sir Z and I were talking. First, let me actually bring on Kazi here. So we're a 4-man team now. Yeah, starting off with Sir Z now with the gang joining us. How are you, Kazi? What's going on?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, good. Excited after that team, to be honest.
Right. So I was about to ask you actually. So first thing that came to your mind when you saw the lineup, anything that stands out in particular?
It's a lovely last 6, isn't it? It's a lovely last little 6 that we have there. We already know that Kwanzaa's the new Virgil van Dijk, so that's no problem either. Kostas is, playing like a prime Ashley Cole. That's no problem either. Listen, I think he's wrong the changes, but I'll tell you right now, that's still a very strong squad. The
Yeah.
man wants to win tonight. Let's get this done today and hope for the best on the other results. So we all actually just confirm top today, which would make the manager extremely pleased. Listen, if everything is going well, out the teams that we played in the group, these are the worst, I think, in my opinion. I just didn't think they were great. It was a wonder goal that they scored against us away in Austria, if I remember correctly. And then we just kind of took over the game, and it could have been 6 or 7, in my opinion. So I hope, if get some more minutes in Doak. The big surprise on the bench is Kate Gordon. So I've been hearing like he's a monster now, I've been told, and he's grown into this body, and he's meant to be ginormous. So, yeah, let's see. You know what I mean? I hope we can get him some minutes as well.
Yeah. Sir Z and I were talking actually before you guys, joined us. Wataru Endo obviously has kind of had a mixed start, towards his Liverpool career. And there's sort of a conundrum now that's going on in terms of we keep McAllister at the 6, a position that isn't really his, until maybe Endo gets his form going. And I'm going to start with you, Tim, because I know you have like one eye open whenever Endo plays. So, in this really packed run of fixtures, he definitely has to start putting his foot down now. Or how much do you think, I guess, is it him maybe trying to put down his foot, but Klopp maybe looking away, feeling that he's not really ready no matter how much he does because he just doesn't quite have it? How much do you think is it that, or he hasn't been simply not good enough? What do you
think that's the problem, though, right? Like, you feel for the guy because he goes out today, right, and he puts out a great performance. Let's face it, half the fan base at least is going to say, yeah, it's against LASK. So he's not going to get credit for it. I don't know if that's the same for Klopp, but like you said, a good performance in Europe will, I think, get him more minutes in the Premier League because we need to get him more minutes in the Premier League. Especially in the this next month or so, we need him out there, and I think he would be a good player to have out there. Like you look at our schedule, like away Sheffield or something like that. I think you can have him over there, and you'll be fine with that. I think at home against Fulham, for example, this one you want Mac because you're gonna get tagged. You can afford to have a 6 that's more attack minded. But when you go away and stuff like that for stability, I think you can throw Endo out there. I just don't know. I know what you guys think, but I don't know how Klopp views it as, the performance today is not the same thing as showing that you're ready to go against Premier League opposition. Just the pace of the game by itself, because that's the only worry I have with him, really, because he does put in a challenge and he knows how to play 6. He does the number 6 challenges and he knows where to be, cut off passing lanes and all that good stuff. My main concern is, one, I know Kazi has pointed this out in the past that he's used to kind of dropping too far back by the center backs, and that's not how we play. We need him more up top. And the second thing is he's sometimes a second behind the action and he can get an early yellow card. I mean, the last time, I think it was the last European game, he probably should have gotten 2 reds in the first half, and then he squeaked by with a yellow. So that's, I think, the only concern is his adaptation to the pace of the game.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Kazi.
No, yeah, that's my biggest point as well. Tim said, when, again, I picked up on it before, you can tell he's played for the lower league side. He's very quick to get rid of the ball, which is good in some cases because when Liverpool on the attack, but also he drops a lot deeper than sometimes you'd like. Because he's probably used to standing there for Stuttgart, because all the rest of the lads in front of him are pretty garbage, and he's probably looked at them and went, well, it is the thing, And as much as we can sit here and cry and moan for a 6, which we need, so did the club, because they wouldn't bid 110 million for Moses Caicedo if they didn't think they needed the 6. Yeah. Can we just have that correct? Right? Yeah. And we wouldn't be linked with Andre as heavily as we are if Liverpool didn't think we needed the 6. This is also a club who's lost 2 games out of 29 in all competitions. One was the Spurs game, we all know what happened, and the other one's Toulouse away, when we should have probably drew the game at least at the end. So the manager can sit there all you like, and we can sit there and go, we don't like McAllister, the 6, and he isn't playing, and it's not really working, and then you're 2 points off the top of the league. And if you beat City on the weekend, you go top. And then the manager sits there and goes, well, we're here to win football matches, and it doesn't matter how we do it as long as you win football matches, because it does counteract everything in football. It counteracts all arguments as winning football matches. I hate Alexis McAllister in the 6. I think we all do. I want to see him further forward. I want to see him beating that number 6 last man and getting in between defenders. But the managers are still sit there, so we're winning football matches. So what's the problem?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the results kind of speak for themselves, and for all of us, it's kind of like it's like putting tape over something that's destroyed, right? Like it's not completely fixing the whole thing, but it's gonna keep it chugging along over the next few months. So it remains to be seen if that's enough to get us over the line and maybe help us win the league or win multiple trophies. But yeah, Sir Z, we were talking about this before the show started. Kevin Kelleher's form hasn't been at its absolute best throughout the season, obviously, and with Allison kind of sidelined over the next maybe 5 games, if Klopp's press conference is anything to go by, this is his chance to start probably establishing himself as a solid option, because like we were talking about it before, when Allison was gonna get a night off, you're just like, oh, it's all right, we got Keller, we have a perfectly decent number 2, but right now we're just like, Kelleher's going to play. Like, how's he going to look like? It hasn't been the same. And why do you think it's been like that, I guess, is my question.
I think the games that he's played in, the team has played bad as well. Defense has played bad. So when he has the performances that Gomez has put in, or Konate or Matip have put in front of him, and his conceded goal, it's not so much his own doing as much as he's not getting the protection that he needs. And but that also shows how good Allison is. Allison himself probably wins us like 18 points a season. Even when you've got Virgil and Matip playing together, like there's no keeper out there other than Edison that compares with Allison. So with Kelleher, it's hard for him. But I think it's highlighted even more because our defense has been playing poor in front of him. So hopefully this run of games helps him, and when we win these games, and he just improves his confidence. But we do lack a leader in defense. When Virgil isn't playing, we lack that leader, and without a DM as well. Hopefully Endo is part today, but.
How big a fact, Tim, do you think is complacency? Because Sergi and I were talking about it before the show started. Knowing that you're the nailed-on number 2, right? Adrian's not going to come in and take your spot. You know that the young Brazilian keeper, Peter Luga, is not going to take your spot. Maybe that's a factor. Maybe he got too comfortable there sitting on his couch knowing that no matter what happens, if Allison's injured or is going to be taking a day off, I'm coming in. How big a part do you think that plays into maybe his form coming in?
I don't think that's fair on him, because he's been in the same exact situation before and he's performed. So I think to say, all complacency is getting to him, I think is fair, because this guy put on some great performances when, anybody who comes into this team knows they're not going to replace Ellison. I don't think anybody's coming with that hope. So everybody realizes they're number 2, and he's known that for a long time, and we've had Ellison here for a long time. I think especially with goalies, and I understand what Sir Z is saying, like he's always playing behind the makeshift back 4, but he's really always played for the most part behind the makeshift, because he's always played in the League Cups and stuff like that, where we do a lot of rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest difference, especially with goalies and strikers, kind of like different animals in that sense, where it's a lot of the final product. So it's a lot of like built on confidence. You can be in midfield and you can screw up a couple of times, but you put a good challenge and you can do a couple of positive things, and you can have those like little like slowly build up and keep your confidence. When you're a goalie, you concede, the confidence is shot. So you got to make like multiple saves and stuff like that, and to get your confidence back, you got to get some clean sheets, honestly, more than anything else, to get that confidence back. Like I say, like a striker, like you miss, you score, you're like, all right, we're good over here. The goalies don't get that chance either to be able to regain that confidence back. The only thing is the run of games thing, but more importantly, you can run games all you want. It's getting clean sheets, and that's why I'm thinking and hoping that today there is a little bit of focus by the team on that as well, knowing that that's what's going to build his confidence, is getting a clean sheet on a day like today and not getting like a silly goal.
Yeah, and on that note of a run of games, someone who's been getting kind of a bit of run is Kostas Tsimikas, and we were talking about it before the show started, Kazi. We're obviously playing this game with one eye open to Sunday, and if we play Sunday against Fulham at home, I'd probably have Kostas starting again, but that would make it 3 games in a row. So, obviously with Robbo out, he's probably our first choice. Joe Gomez, as solid as he is in that left back position, it kind of takes a lot away from us in terms of our offensive production on that, particularly on that side where we have 2 players who essentially are right-footed there in Diaz and Gomez. So I guess my question is Kostas being overworked? Maybe we should try and maybe a systemic change or something, because obviously we know the guy isn't as, obviously he's not as durable as Robertson in terms of like a physical sense. He's a bit flimsy. But then at the same time, we're kind of out of options. So maybe it's about time that Klopp maybe shifts to a back 3. I don't know, maybe change that formation a little bit, maybe wishful thinking, because in terms of the period that's coming up, it's pretty strenuous. A lot of games coming up.
Yes. I think it's, for Kostas at least, I find it interesting, because he's actually playing his best football so we play for Liverpool since he first came in. So, but also Liverpool don't have a choice. This is why you're saying backup players. They're not at the level of the first team players. That's why they're backup players. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like with the goalies, a perfect example. We're very spoilt watching the greatest goalkeeper in the world every week. So when he's out, you notice it. It's like I used to always love when we used to go, Van Dijk's not the same. No other football centre half in the history of football has ever been the same level as Van Dijk. He's just dropped a little bit below. Still makes him one of the best centre halves in the world. It just is what it is. But yes, because it's the same for Kostas. He's playing behind, in my opinion, the best left back in the world. Apart from his last 6 months, you could argue Robertson's. Before that, he probably was. So, with Liverpool, haven't got a choice. Liverpool got a league title to win. Liverpool are dead in a title race. Now, whether we like it or not, we are in it. So you might as well go for it. Liverpool, this game today is massive. Liverpool can't afford to drop more points and go into the last game of this group, not secured, at least getting through the group. You know what I mean? And never mind, hopefully finishing top today, which still could happen. The next couple of games are easy doors. He shouldn't play against Union if Liverpool finish top today. He won't play against Union, will he? So he's probably not, you know what I mean? He'll probably do Conor Bradley or whatever, one of the other kid fullbacks kind of thing. But Liverpool's next 3 games are in the league: Fulham, Sheffield United, and Palace. Yep. Palace away is tough. Early kick-off, I think it is as well. Tough game for them, right? But you could argue he played the toughest game of the season last week, and he was fine. Yeah. Which is City away. I barely seen, I don't know about you guys, but I barely seen Kyle Walker get over the halfway line and run at him.
I think the only time you saw him is when Trent was on that side after like a set piece or something like that. They did not mess with Kostas' side at all, it felt like, right?
No, I felt like he just targeted Doku, but they didn't even try and swap Doku for 10 minutes and go have a run at Kostas. They didn't even try it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And try and have a go at him. But even with Kyle Walker, because Kyle Walker didn't even target him. Kyle Walker's a very experienced right back. He's done it all. You think I'll target him. Let me get at him and see what he's about today. Didn't even go at him. So that might tell you something as well, that other managers might respect him more than Liverpool fans maybe do. But I'm going to give him his full credit, mate. I didn't think he could get to the level he's even playing at now, which is just like a standard full-back level. So I didn't think he was at that level, to be fair. I thought he wasn't really. I thought he was kind of a bottom 10 Premier League left back. And now he's kind of playing to a good professional Liverpool level. Of course, not Robertson level, but yeah, I'm super pleased for him. But I go back to your main point. We haven't got a choice. We haven't. Liverpool got trophies to win. And by the way, they're all open for us. They're all open. The Europa League and the Europa League and League Cup are, and Liverpool are in a title race. You might draw City away in the FA Cup, and that's by the by. Whatever happens. But the other 3 trophies that we're main in, let's go for it.
Maybe why Kostas is reaching this level of form is the run of games, right, Tim?
Must be the run of games. I need the run of games so I can get going too, I guess. But
he has to take responsibility.
Yeah.
He's not going to get another chance like this. He's in because Robertson's out. So he needs to take this chance with both hands. Forget whether Klopp, we can criticize Klopp for picking him or whatever, but the onus is on Tsimikas to make this spot his now. He's not going to get another chance like this. He's signed a new contract. He has to earn that. And just show us, like, all right, you're playing, see if you can keep Robertson out. That's all on him. He's still young. But
who's been out of form? Robertson's been out of form for 6 months. Robertson hasn't been at his level. So even the manager might look and go, well, fucking hell, this lad's got 8 assists while you've been out. I'm kind of going to stick with him, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting.
Finally, before we talk about, a lot of players here can probably be given the whole run of games tab. So before we go off the rails here, it's 10 minutes before kickoff. So let me actually close this before we just go on a tangent here. So score predictions. Kazi, let's start with you.
4-0 Liverpool. I just think it'll be comfortable. I think we'll score early. And I thought they were the worst team that we played in the group. And they were at home at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were great at all. I thought they were bang average, probably championship level, top end championship. So I'll say 4-0 Liverpool.
Tim, you still sticking with that 3-0 yesterday?
I am sticking with that 3-0 because I almost feel like I agree with Kazi, and I think we kind of settle down and kind of like, I know it might be a boring watch in the second half if we do this, by the way, but I kind of like take the lead, control the game, and just like, wait for Fulham kind of an ordeal. And I do think there'll be an additional focus to not go off the rails, to score more goals and leave spaces behind to get that clean sheet for Keller. So I'll ride with the 3-0. Anything else would be icing on the cake.
Cersei?
I'll go for 2-0. I think I'm going to make it harder than what it should be.
Yeah,
I think we're going to over-try and overthink. And it'll just be a frustrating 2-0.
We're going to be fine. We've got a striker who can finish now, so we're going to be fine.
Yeah. Time doesn't permit, Cause. Time doesn't permit. Time doesn't permit. But I wanted to go into Gakpo, Kazi, and talk about how your boy's probably going to start getting a good run of games now that we're lacking a bit of options.
I'm just going to call the managers and delay the kickoff for 15 minutes while we get onto this. Yeah.
Alan's asking, how's it feel to be vice captain, Timotion? The seat is awfully warm here. A lot of pressure on my shoulders, let me tell you.
I think you're
really? I mean, I feel like I set the bar pretty darn low. So it should be easy to just like hop over it.
It's not exactly Alisson for Kelleher level, is it, boys? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Hey, I am world class.
But no,
For me, I'm going with a no context 2-0, like I said yesterday, because as Cersei loves to point out during the shows, I have a way of jinxing everything that I say. So I'm just going with a 2-0 with no context. I'm still going with
Cody Gakpo scores too. Yeah. Cody Gakpo.
Well, that was Kazi who said it, so I claim no responsibility for any jinx that comes in. But yeah, boys, really appreciate you taking the time off your busy schedules to join me and Cersei in this very indifferent Thursday. Hopefully the Reds, managed to get it done. And for all you guys listening and watching, I really appreciate you checking in. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel or TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook channels, please do so. We really appreciate it. A like and a subscribe goes a long way. But other than that, we'll see you guys later, right, Tim, for the post-match
podcast, 7 Central. The boys will be back, followed by the Fantasy Nerds. Both live shows tonight, but tune in at 7 Central today, and then they'll be doing the post-match as well.
Yeah, well, there we go. Like, I did not know that the Fantasy Nerds were coming in, so that still got a mistake in me, right?
The nerds are always there, man. The nerds are always there.
Don't worry about them, fella. Don't worry about them.
All right, guys. We appreciate you tuning in, and have a great rest of your Thursday. Up the Reds.
All right. See you, boys.